First off, congrats. What was it like writing this? Like, did anything surprise you? Was it harder than you thought?
All of that. Yes, it was definitely harder than I thought. And also, what surprised me is like the journey that writing the book actually took me on with myself. Like, I learned more about myself by recounting my life and retelling my life. And it brought me to a better place than I was in when I started writing the book.
What were some of the things you learned about yourself?
After recounting some of the stories, with my teenage years and my parents, I realized just how much pain they must have been in that I put them through. Because now that I'm a parent, I can't imagine my daughter being a drug addict and not coming home for a week and things like that. I would be like in a grave for sure. Like I would be literally have a heart attack. So I think that like I just took for granted my parents, back then, and I didn't realize the impact I had on them. I was also carrying around a lot of that shame still from my teenage years, from my early 20s, from all my drinking and, drugging and things like that. So I think it was just a really healing experience.
What were some of the hardest things to have to go back and write about?
Definitely the one story that I talk about where like I called the cops on my parents and said they were holding me hostage because I was 16. So I knew that they couldn't keep me in the, because in Connecticut, it's like when you're 16, like you're considered an adult basically. So just like calling like the cops on my parents, and then like my mom trying to physically hold me in the house. Like she was just trying to like keep me safe. That was very difficult to recount.
I know you talk about in the book like your teenage years, your school years. What were those years like for you? Was that like right when your battle with addiction started?
I think, my addiction started probably at age 13 with like smoking cigarettes and drinking beer and stuff. But then it's crazy because I really went from like drinking 40s and like, smoking cigarettes, relatively harmless, like all things considered, to doing pretty hardcore drugs just a year later at age 14. I mean, it was like living in hell.
A lot of people, who are in recovery say that, they had to hit like a rock bottom. Would you be able to like pinpoint that in your life?
There were a few rock bottoms. The main one, which was in 2009 when I quit drinking and everything for, 10 years. And then I started drinking and then stopped again. But before that, in 2009, I had a death premonition. And it was like a message from the universe. I felt deep within me that I wasn't going to live past my birthday that year. And that's when I went into recovery.
You've been sober for a little while now. How is that going? Do you have any milestones coming up?
So actually, I just went 2 years without alcohol on March 31st, but I'm 90 days off of everything, including like, because I was smoking weed too, which I realized I don't want to do. So I started my day count over again, and I'm like kind of recommitting to sobriety and recommitting to my recovery. So my 90 days is tomorrow.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I know that's, some people say they're Cali sober where they still
I'm
smoke.
Cali sober. Yeah. But and look, I think it works for some people and that's fine. I'm someone that I realized, first of all, I don't even like being stoned. I like being productive. I like my mind being on, like I'm a multitasker. Like, when I smoke weed, I'm kind of like, I never even liked smoking weed, but I think I was so unwilling, even though I'm so obviously like I have addiction issues. I'm an alcoholic. Like I know I can't drink, but there was this part of me that couldn't let go of weed just because I wouldn't fully turn it over. So it was really important for me 3 months ago to say, I'm recommitting to sobriety, I'm recommitting to recovery, and I'm giving up everything and doing this again, like for real. And that made all the difference because I was struggling while I was smoking weed, I think, because I wouldn't really fully turn myself over like you're supposed to.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
How do you talk to Kier about, addiction and, stuff like that? Does she like ask you about it?
We're really open. Listen, kids experimenting with smoking pot, like, and drinking, like, it's pretty normal. Me and her have a direct, line of communication. I've told her that I understand she's probably going to end up experimenting, but to know that there's addiction that runs in the family and it gets passed down sometimes, like it did from me. My mother's sober, so I got the gene, and she's well aware of it. She's also like, Mom, I'm not you. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I'm just letting you know. So She doesn't really ask questions about it, even though she did, because she saw like TikTok the other day and I said meth to Bravo. And she's like, shouldn't you be missing your teeth? And I'm like, well, honey, it was a long time ago and I didn't do it for long enough where it was going to make me look like I was missing teeth, So, we had a little conversation about that. And it's like, I can't hide who I am to her, especially now that the book is out, but I never did anyway.
Do you open up at all about your dating life? I know we saw, like on the show, we saw you and Rob, like you guys are great co-parents, but where are you at these days in terms of dating?
I'm not dating. If I was dating, I would have no problem being open about it. I feel like, I've been so busy with the book and stuff, but look, like maybe that's what's next for me. Maybe there'll be some dates on the horizon.
Okay, I have to ask you, I read this story when I was doing my research that you actually knew Julia Fox in recovery.
Everyone loves this story so much. Yes. That's how we originally met.
Okay, are you guys still in touch?
We are. Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. What's it like seeing her kind of shoot to the front pages of everything?
It's not surprising because Julia was always meant to be famous and in the spotlight. She's honestly just exactly the same like as she is. She's eccentric and funny and it's good for her. I'm happy.
Last night I was in bed literally like Googling interviews of her because I couldn't stop watching them.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty fascinating.
Yeah. And then lastly, is there any update on Rihanna or any of your other famous fans of Married to the Mob?
Me and Riri, we chat, we text, she's like just a good human being. Like, I'm so happy for her. I think motherhood. I mean, look at her. She has changed pregnancy. Like she has changed it. And I love that some of these celebrities, they hide when they're pregnant. God forbid we see them put on some weight. They all hide. It's like, what? Like, it's the weirdest thing. She is out there with her stomach showing in every single outfit, like so proud of it. And I am like, yes, Riri. Like, she is the ultimate symbol of like divine femininity.
Icon. What would be your one piece of advice to a new mother like Rihanna?
Don't listen to anyone because everyone has everything to say. And at the end of the day, women have been giving birth since the beginning of time and we've been able to handle it with no extra gadgets or whatever. Like, you'll be fine no matter what. Like, you'll handle it.